So the second step during the reproduction process in the flower is fertilization. Now once the pollination has took place in the flower, that is when the pollen grains from the anther are transferred to the stigma. Now once they stick to the stigma, what is the further process? Now in that case, what happens once the pollen grain sticks to the stigma, from there a pollen tube is produced till the ovary. Now from in that tube, what happens? The pollen grain produces a male cell which is known as gamete, male gamete. It reaches to the ovary where female gametes are present and fuses with it. Now this process of fusion of male and female gamete is known as fertilization. Now once fertilization takes place, what happens? It produces a zygote and the zygote further develops into embryo. Now what happens, like in this image, you can clearly see what happens once the pollen grain sticks to the stigma. Again what happens? The pollen tube, or we can say that the pollen tube from the pollen grain to the end of the ovary germinates, and from that tube what happens? This male germ cell are produced and they reaches through the help of pollen tube to the ovary, and there they fuses with the female germ cell to produce the further part of the flower, that is a fruit. So that is how fertilization takes place in a flower, and it is very important process. Because of this only the seeds are produced, or we can say that fruits are formed into the flower, into the plant, and then again the reproduction process continues, or we can say that from the parent the offsprings are produced. So this is a very important step in the reproduction process.